So it is back to school this week. We've been talking a little bit about that, seeing the last week the crossing guards out, trying to, kind of get people used to seeing them on some of these street corners throughout Central Florida. Meanwhile, at the office, we are doing our back to school drive, and that runs through September 1st, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So that's a great opportunity to donate new school supplies. Just come by our office located in beautiful Winter Park, Florida, 423 Country Club Drive. If you can't find us on Google, although pretty sure we're on Google. The reality is you can drop by those new school supplies anytime during business hours from 9 to 5. Benefits a gift for teaching through Orange County Public Schools, and also tools for Seminole Schools as well is the other organization that it benefits. So that's a good way to kind of segue into our next conversation, which is about charity, right? Always great to donate to charitable causes like a gift for teaching or tools for Seminole Schools. We've had a lot of folks stopping by the office dropping off school supplies, and it does certainly make you feel pretty good. I know a lot of the team was out of the office earlier this summer for a day of service involving the local schools. Tell us a little bit about that, Kristin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so back in June, a bunch of us went to the Great Big Backpack Build. So this was at the Orange County Convention Center in a huge ballroom. There were about 400 other volunteers there, and what they did is they broke you up into teams. And the point of it was to race to build as many backpacks as you can.
Competition, charitable competition. There you go.
Definitely some exercise too. So.
Oh, okay.
And they have music and a DJ, and it was a lot of fun. And overall, we, as a combined total, built about 2,000 or 20,000 actually. I'm sorry, 20,000 backpacks.
Wow.
I think our group built about maybe 1,000.
Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome. That's really cool. So it is always great to donate to charity, and I'm sure you've got your own sort of favorite charity. I have a particular affinity for Grace Medical Home. That's where my wife works. Kristin, you probably have a favorite charity as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Pet Rescue by Judy. That's where I adopted my little dog Walter from.
There you go. Well, the great thing about making a charitable contribution is you certainly feel good, but when you overlay it with a qualified charitable distribution, if you have a required minimum distribution, then not only do you get to give the gift to charity, but you also get to offset the tax implications of that required distribution. So QCDs have been around for a few years, and it's certainly something we've talked at length on the program before. But now, lo and behold, there's a new option for you to put that qualified charitable distribution to good use for. And Kristin, what is that new option?
Mm-hmm. So that is the Charitable Gift Annuity. So this is a way that you can contribute up to $50,000 directly from your IRA to your favorite charity. So you'll get the tax deduction, so that transfer will be tax-free, and then you're donating to your favorite charity. And then in return, you'll also get an income stream for the rest of your life.
Yeah, so look, gift annuities and charitable gift annuities have been around for a long time. There's approximately 1,600 different charities that sort of offer that as an option. Typically, these charitable gift annuities are run through the charity. It's not like some insurance product or annuity product type thing that you would necessarily purchase. Usually all of that is part of the structure of that charity. There's about 1,600 charities out there that offer this option. But the real change, right, is that now you can use it with retirement dollars.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so this is available if you're 70 and a half and up. And this can count towards your required minimum distribution for the year.
Yeah, and let's just pause there, because I know we've been kind of talking a little bit about the IRS needing to kind of go back to school, particularly on its delay for not getting out the rules yet for the legislation that passed in 2019 involving the stretch IRA. I think here's one where they also are a little kind of weird, like. They talk in the rules about 70 and a half still being the required minimum distribution age and allows you to do the qualified charitable distribution. Mm-hmm. But to be clear to our listeners, the age is 73.
Yes, that's right.
So am I confused? The IRS confused, or they just need to go back to school?
I think they really do.
Probably do. So, but just know that at 70 and a half, even though you don't technically have a required minimum distribution requirement, you could, if you were so charitable minded, take advantage of that as early as 70 and a half. You don't have to wait to 73 if you're delaying on your qualified distribution. So just I want to just take a pause on there and just kind of talk that one through, because it sounds like we're throwing out a couple of different ages, and we are. We're not confused. It's the IRS that's kind of confused on this thing. But anyway, just thought I would clarify that. So give us an example of how one of these charitable gift annuities would work now that you can use that and fund those with retirement dollars.
So the lifetime limit is $50,000. That's the most that you can transfer into one of these annuities, the charitable gift annuities. You can make it as a one-time $50,000 donation, or you can do $5,000 for the next 10 years. So however you'd like to fund it. And then what you can do is you would actually get an income stream back depending on how old you are. So the younger you are, the less you're going to get back on an annual basis. The older you are, the more you'll get back. So if you're, let's say, 70 and a half, you'll get about $250 a month, give or take.
Okay, all right.
And then if you're closer to 90, you'll be getting around $500 or so a month.
So $250 a month, that's about $3,000 a year. Cool thing on that, I mean, that may not sound like a whole lot of money, but if we think of it as, $3,000, that's a pretty decent weekend getaway that you'd be able to enjoy with that. And that's the annuity part of how these work, whereby there is that stream of income back. The older you are, the more money or the greater the percentage that comes back. So certainly a pretty interesting option that's now available as an option to do with that qualified charitable distribution. I mean, that really is... And the analogy that I would say is, I mean, that's really like having your cake and eating it too, right? I mean, I like cake. Do you like cake?
I do like cake. I like funfetti.
Funfetti. Okay. I like any kind of cake, so I'm not very discerning. This summer, of course, with the boys home, there's been a lot more cakes and baked goods around the house. So we've been enjoying those. Come the fall, when everybody goes back to school, we'll get back on the more stringent diet. But when the cupcake's laying there, you got to eat it. But this really does allow you to save money on your taxes, get the offset of the charitable deduction, and still get income back. So just an amazing opportunity if you think of it in terms of the opportunity to make a charitable gift annuity that has always certainly been an option, but certainly not one that you were able to do with your retirement dollars. And that's new for this year.
Yeah, starting 2023.
So good option for folks to be considering. And certainly, this is a good example of the kinds of things that we continue to keep track of on a regular basis, which is why we encourage folks to listen regularly, not just listen regularly to the live program that goes out on Sunday mornings on a variety of stations throughout the Central Florida area, but also to make sure that they are subscribing to our podcasts platform. So whether that's Amazon, or whether that's our YouTube channel, or whether that's your Spotify or iTunes, make sure you subscribe to us, because it's through these weekly episodes that we do that we're able to keep people informed of the latest and greatest. Speaking of the latest and greatest, there's an update that we want to share with our listeners as well. Finally, a tax form was finalized for the year 22. Another incredible example of how far behind the IRS is on its homework. If they were this late on doing their homework, they would have flunked elementary school, but they're the IRS, and when you've got a form and it takes them that long to finalize it, then you just kind of have to wait. I think you said we had like 6 different tax returns that we were holding to finalize because this particular tax form had not been finalized. So I want to share that with our listeners, because it's a great way to save money on your taxes to the extent that this particular option is available to you. So we're going to go to that when we return here on Dollars and Cents with Joel Garris and Kristin Cayley of Nelson Financial Planning.